Hey guys, Eleanor here. Welcome back to this video. It's a little bit delayed from my previous video, my bad. Things have been pretty crazy with my job and things like that, and I've been finding it a little bit difficult to put aside the time to record videos and edit them. So yeah, that's my reality right now, but I was happy to actually get this one out. This drawing is, I guess, my little tribute to Mulan. I was scrolling through Twitter and found out that Mulan has been around for 20 years, which is amazing because I remember watching this movie as a kid. I love all Disney movies, don't get me wrong. The soundtrack to this one's pretty good too. I had issues with the posing for this one. You know, I'm trying really hard to include hands and to have some dynamic poses rather than just simple standing. So as you can see, I have my reference there, you know, from the actual Disney movie, and I just thought it'd be really good to include all of the chops and changes I did because I recently watched a video by Aniko who was talking about, you know, the struggles of being an artist and that, you know, we don't make perfect pieces every time, you know, and that's okay. It's part of the learning process and it shows where we grow as artists. So I thought, you know, this is my way of making sure that it's all there, I suppose. And some of the time I do cut out all the planning stages because it takes up a lot of time and I try to keep the videos pretty short. But I thought, you know what, no, I'll keep it in there because it sort of shows how it's my go-to to do a standing pose and then trying to just give it a bit of depth. This bit is where I kept going and I coloured in the art piece and forgot to press record. So that was my bad, but pretty much I just laid down all the foundations to the piece, and this part is me shading in the areas. So having that baseline colour and then going darker on the hue. I started doing her chin line, and it started looking like, what do they call it with guys in there? Is it the 12 o'clock shadow or something, you know, when it's their beard growing? So I did start again with that. And the other thing I suppose that I didn't really say is I'm really trying to have a go at using coloured lines instead of just plain black, and it's actually a lot of fun and I really enjoy that process. You know, I mean, you have to really consider your shadows so that the edges stand out, otherwise it sort of all blends in and you can't tell the difference between the jawline and the neck. And I find that I like the look of my artworks a lot more with the coloured lines. The black's nice in some cartoony drawings that I do, but I actually really enjoy considering the colours and highlights a lot more instead of just the plain harsh black lines. And I'm absolutely loving blending tools and I have a lot of fun with that. As you can see, I did pick the colours from the Disney movie. I just found that a bit easier than trying to change it up too much. So, you know, just so then it's my style of Mulan based on the Disney Mulan. I found that I was going a bit dark with some of the edgings, and so some of what I do is I go back and lighten it up a bit so then the gradients going from the edge inwards is a lot smoother. And as you can see, I do try add highlights a lot more into my artworks, which I didn't realize how much of a difference that could make actually. It's sort of, I've seen artists use it and I never really thought about it, but it just, yeah, I don't know, it does something. Insert technical artistic term here. It does something that really helps the artwork pop out. And then once I had put the grey in the background, those highlights really stood out, and then I realised, hey, they're pretty okay. A tip that my sister taught me is having the splodges of your colours to make it easier to, I drop the color that you want, so then you're not constantly trying to find the matching color, which is really important because especially when I was blending, a lot of the colors started, you know, mixing in with the darker colors and I couldn't get that base color again. Again, as a bit of a reference for my brain, I was drawing where the light was hitting. So when I was drawing the samurai sword, it just, you know, it was just one of those markers to help me remember, yep, this is what we're doing. This is where the light's coming from, this is how it should look. One of the aspects of the movie is the cherry blossoms, and I wanted to have a cherry blossom in her hand, and so I looked at a few references. They are your best friends. And yeah, you know, there's that gentle side of Mulan, and then there's the, you know, the warrior of Mulan. So the two opposing yin and yang kind of thing. Another bit I have really been trying to do with my artworks is putting efforts into my backgrounds, because I really enjoy drawing people and I like to avoid doing backgrounds because it just, I don't know, I just can't get them to do what I want to do. But steadily I've been watching things by Jazza, by Bailey J, by Lavender Town, and I've just found that, you know, it's not as scary as I thought it was, and it is actually a lot of fun, and I really enjoy what it does, I guess, just to bring more to the artwork. There's some that I really love looking at, especially on my Twitter feed, and I definitely use those as references to figure out what I want to do and how I want to do my backgrounds, because I find that I tend to either do too much and it looks really messy, or I don't do enough and it's a sort of, it just doesn't really add context or anything to the artwork. But anyway, here's my finished piece. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. Not to sound like I'm up myself, but I've really enjoyed how my artwork and style has grown. I actually did an artwork for Mermaid. Here, I'll put it on this video. I just drew it. I didn't film myself doing it. I didn't have time to do the mermaid thing, but I scraped in and I painted a mermaid just in time. And this is where I started moving away from the black lines, and I was just I didn't realize how different an artwork could look. I mean, I'd seen other YouTubers do it and other artists do it before, but when I could make it click within my brain, it was just really exciting, and I want to try it a lot more. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for your patience. I'm grateful that you got this far. So have a lovely night, or day, or morning, or whichever, and I will hopefully see you in the next video a lot sooner than 4 months. Thank you for gracing me with your presence.